Today we honor the most deserving and sometimes admired, but most of the time the most neglected people in the world. You know, without these people, none of us would be here. These people are called mothers. Happy Mother's Day to all our moms. You know, no one deserves to be honored as much as you do. You know, my mother taught me some great lessons in life. My mother taught me to appreciate a job well done. This is what she would say. Here, if you're going to kill each other, do it outside. I just finished cleaning. My mother also taught me religion. She would say, you better pray that that stain will come out of the carpet. Then my mother taught me logic. Right? She would say, why? Because I said so. That's why. My mother taught me how to meet a challenge. Right? She says, answer me when I talk to you. Don't talk back to me. My mother taught me about irony. You know, keep laughing, keep laughing. I'll give you something to cry about. My mother also taught me about the science of osmosis. She would say, shut your mouth and eat your dinner. My mother then taught me how to be a helper. Give help when it is needed, men, not when it is convenient. My mother taught me about justice. One day you'll have kids and I hope they turn out just like you. You know, my mother also taught my baby sister a lesson in clothing. She would say, listen to me, don't you advertise what you are not selling. You know, mothers are very special. The world would not be what it is today without mothers. A mother's world is filled with the awesome responsibility to train up the next generation of young men and women to be servants and citizens with good moral character and integrity. I want to tell you today, as we celebrate Mother's Day, love her patiently. Let's not wait till it is too late to take care of the greatest gift given to us, and that is our mothers. Why? I want to tell you this, because no one sacrifices for you like your mother. No one sacrificed for me like my mother. My mother is one of the greatest examples that I have had in my life. You know, when we talk about sacrifice and talking about mothers, I'm reminded of a story that I want to tell you about. This is a very interesting story. The story says, my mom had only one eye. My mom had one eye and I hated her for it. She was such an embarrassment. You know, she cooked and worked in houses, cleaning for others, just to bring the little money and support the family. One time when I was in grade 6, my mom came to say hello to me in school. I was so embarrassed. How could she do this to me? I ignored her. I threw her a hateful look and ran out. The next day at school, one of my classmates said, your mother only has one eye. I just wanted to bury myself. I also wanted my mom to just disappear. So I went home and I confronted her and said, you know, if you're only going to make me a laughing stock, why don't you just die? My mom did not respond. She didn't even open her mouth. You know, I didn't even stop to think for a second about what I had said because I was so full of anger. I was oblivious to her feelings. I wanted her out of that house and I wanted nothing to do with her. So I studied hard and got a chance to go to Singapore for my higher studies. Then I got married, I bought a house, I had children, and I was living very happily with all the comforts in Singapore. But then one day, my mother, after many years, came to visit me. She hadn't seen me for a long time. She had never met her grandchildren. And she stood by the door, knocked on the door. My children went, and my children saw her, and they began to yell. They got scared. I went and I yelled at her. And I said, "You're not welcome here." I screamed it. I said, "How dare you come to my house and scare my children? Get out of here now." And to this my mother quietly answered, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I may have got the wrong address." And she disappeared out of sight. You know, after a few years, I had to fly back home for a school reunion. And while I was there, I thought I will go and just see my old neighborhood and the house where I used to live. And just out of curiosity, I went, and my neighbors came and we had a chit chat, and they told me that my mother had died a little while ago. I did not even shed a single tear. But then they handed me a letter that she had wanted me to have. When I got back to my hotel room, I opened the letter and I read it, and this is what it said. It said, "My dearest son, I think of you all the time. I am sorry that I came to Singapore and scared your children. I was so glad when I heard you were coming for the school reunion, but I may not be able to even get out of bed to see you. I don't know whether I'll last that long. My son, I'm sorry I was a constant embarrassment to you while you were growing up. Son, you see, when you were very little, you got into an accident and you lost your eye. As a mother, I couldn't stand watching you having to grow up with one eye. So I gave you mine. I was so proud of my son, who was seeing a whole new world for me in my place with that eye. Son, I never stopped loving you, your darling Amma." Friend, your mother may not be perfect, but neither are you. Please don't wait till it is too late to show your love to your mother and appreciate her while you still can. Just think a moment. This is Dishan signing off. Think today for a better tomorrow. After all, today was yesterday's tomorrow.